Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. I do hope you're having a good day. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. This is episode 48. Today's guest. Woo, this guy, I've got to say, if I had the organization skills of Dr. Benjamin Hardy, I would be, I'd own a small country. He is, an author, husband of five, number 6 on the way, inspirational speaker, and he has a new book coming out at this moment in time called Personality Isn't Permanent. We talked about the book and a number of things, and I've got to say, more power to him. The guy is good. So please enjoy the show. Have a great day, and enjoy. Peace. Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. I do hope you're having a good day. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. This is episode 48. Today, I am very lucky. I am privileged to have Dr. Benjamin Hardy with us. He is an author, speaker, and father of 5. God help his poor soul in these lockdown times. But how are you doing today, sir?
Excellent. Doing very well. Life is good. Life is blessed. It's a crazy world we live in, but you got to focus on the good.
Indeed. Yes, as I mentioned, you are a father of 5.
With a 6th on the way, my man.
Okay, whoa, 6 on the way. Okay.
Probably our last.
I think it's going to be a case of, how do you have the time to do what you do with 5 in the household, your wife and yourself? It must be, how can I say, a challenge, let's say at the least.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, man. My wife's pretty dang amazing. She keeps things going at home. And I just give myself really strong boundaries. I work really well in the morning, so I get up early. I do as much as I can before 8 a.m. And then I have, an amazing team who schedules podcasts like this with you. And I get a lot of help, but I'm also just I just knock out a few good things every single day. And then I unplug entirely and go home at 2:00 and just focus on my family. So I try not to get too distracted by everything going on, man. I just have a few key priorities, a few key things that I'm trying to do. And I just knock out a few things in the morning, and then I got, a great schedule to keep me busy throughout the remainder of my work day. And then I just call it a day and leave, man, and just do it all over again. I've got a lot of obviously journaling practices and things I do to help me to stay creative and purposeful. But just try not to do too much, just try to be really effective at the few things that matter. I'm just chosen a few things that I want to go big on, and I properly ignore everything else.
Okay. The reason why I say this is because you've got a book coming out. Personality Isn't Permanent. I'm I'm just trying to look at myself and go, okay, if you've got 5 kids, you've got a household which is ticking along in a business. How can I put aside my excuses and get on something like that myself sometime in the future?
You can do it, dude. You can do it, man. You got to have a clear purpose, which according to Viktor Frankl is a freely chosen task. Mm-hmm. You get to choose that purpose, man. And I think you probably got one given your podcast and the great work you do, but clarify your goal and then, create the plan and the process and your environment, and, be willing to have hard conversations where you got to stop doing some of the stuff that may be pulling you away. And then just focus on results, just a few key results every day can move you forward. Have short timelines, man. Parkinson's law, short timelines.
I'm not familiar with Parkinson's law, but
basically Parkinson's law means that work fills the space you give it. If you give yourself a week to do something, it'll take a week. If you give yourself a day to do something, it'll take a day,
Okay, great. So with that, how long did it take you to get the book together this time around?
Yeah, this one was tough, man. This one, we pushed the publication date back twice. This book took about basically almost a year and a half to write. This one was tough. I've actually even written a book since I wrote Personality Isn't Permanent, and it only took like 3 months. But this one I got stuck quite a bit. I really wanted this book to be good. Obviously my future self is going to see all sorts of flaws in it. I think I already do, but I'm okay with that, you know? So yeah, it took about 1.5 years on this one, and I needed a lot of help to get through this. There was many stages of the development process where I was kind of like burned out, or I had given up, and I just said, this is good enough. And luckily I had editors and people around me who said, no, this isn't good enough. This book could be really good. We see a lot of potential in it. We're not going to let you give up that fast. So I had to, you know, put my ego aside, get a lot of help, and also push the book back. The book was actually supposed to come out last September originally. So the book was supposed to come out in September of 2019, but we pushed it back a few times. And so it came out in June of 2020, and I'm glad it did.
Oh, okay. So like, what were some of the like sort of obstacles this time to sort of put those roadblocks in front of you this time? Because how many books have you published up until now?
I mean, traditionally published, this is only my second, but Willpower Doesn't Work, which I wrote before, was actually a lot easier to write than this one. But I've got 2 traditionally published books coming out this year in 2020, and I wrote a few ebooks before all this. But this book is definitely the biggest attempt I've made as far as really putting together something substantial, you know, like really pulling together a lot of research, trying to present a pretty provocative idea, and trying, you know, I mean, this is a much bigger attempt of a book than I've ever tried before. So more likelihood for failure, but also more likelihood for success. But yeah, some of the obstacles were just, you know, as with writing any book, creating the initial structure, deciding what ideas matter, how to build it out. I mean, it took me forever. Like, I knew the core ideas from the beginning, but it took me forever to figure out how to structure them and how to shape them. You know, for a while, the book was organized as like 40 short chapters. Now, like, the finished product is like 6 long chapters. So, I mean, it just took forever to just find a way to organize and pull it together. I also needed to finish my PhD. I actually did my full dissertation while I was writing this book as well. So like, I had to finish my PhD. Once I got that done, the writing became a lot easier. But I also needed help, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, write a book as well as doing the PhD. Yeah. Like, I'm glad to see you keep your life nice and light, as they say.
No. I mean, here's the quote from Viktor Frankl that I love so much, man. Viktor Frankl said, and he's, you know, obviously the guy who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, but he said, what man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for a worthwhile goal, a freely chosen task. So for me, I like pushing myself during my working time, or even let's just say if I'm at the gym, I like crushing myself while I'm there, but then I love just recovering and being present. So like, I believe in struggle. I don't believe in having a tensionless life. I believe in being challenged. I believe in, you know, pushing through obstacles and getting a lot of help in the process, you know, from God and also just from other people. So, yeah, I definitely am not choosing the easy path. There's a quote that I really love. It's a poem, and the poem is from Douglas Malloch, but he says, "Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger wind, the stronger trees, the further sky, the greater length, the more the storm, the more the strength. By sun and cold, by rain and snow, and trees and men, good timbers grow." So I think it's just you know, like 5 kids, not easy. But what I do believe is that people are far more adaptive than they think they are, and that you can actually adjust and adapt to your circumstances pretty fast. You know, and you can get used to it. It can become your new normal, and you can handle heavier loads, you know. Whereas most people, they just don't put themselves in those situations where they're required to, so they don't think they can.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think it's I can't remember. I think your TED talk where you talked about a gentleman who I think it might have been the same gentleman, but it was a case of the 98 versus the 100%. Like, rather than go 98% in, go 100% in. So you're sort of fully committed. that 2%, I believe that's where you can fail. I might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. 100% means you're actually committed. If you're only 98% committed, it means you don't know what you're actually going to do. If you're only 98% committed, basically what that means is you haven't made a decision. So in all future situations, you got to make a decision. I'll make this easy to understand. Like with a diet, if you're only 98% committed to a diet, then what that means is in every future situation you're in, you've got to ask yourself, is this one of those situations where I'm going to actually do the diet, or is this one of those 2% situations, and the research shows that first off, you don't want to deal with that because that's called decision fatigue, having to make the same decision over and over and over and over. You just want to make one decision and never think about it again. That's what Michael Jordan said. So, but if you're always having to make a decision, and also if you're putting yourself in bad situations, you don't want to make a decision in the heat of the moment. If you're on a diet and someone offers you like your favorite dessert, that's not the situation to make a decision. You wanted to make a decision before that so that you could know what you were going to do. So 98 is a lot harder than being 100% committed.
So like this is, the 100% commitment to your PhD, 100% commitment to your new book. And with that, you have, I've got to say, looking through, with your time doing this, I don't know, you built yourself quite, how can I say, you've been quite ambitious with regards to your blog, getting over 100 million people actually going to your blog and reading articles there, and then basically building up a mailing list of 400,000 plus. So this is the thing, that type of hard work which's gone behind that. What sort of what was the driving force for you starting all of this?
When I was 20 years old, I served a church mission, and that really impacted my life. I came from a pretty traumatic environment where my father was a drug addict and things like that. Luckily, he's no longer that. He's actually totally changed his life. He's one of my heroes. But when I was a teenager and stuff like that, I just was in a really chaotic situation. And basically, I just no clue how I graduated high school, but I did graduate high school, and, found myself a year after high school doing nothing with my life, playing World of Warcraft all day, not having a job, living at my cousin's house, and just having no meaning and purpose, and therefore no happiness. That's one of the things that Viktor Frankl talks a lot about in Man's Search for Meaning, is that without having hope and purpose for your future, your present becomes meaningless and distracted, or the suffering just is too much. And so I was distracted. I had a meaningless life, and I just needed hope, and I needed something to look forward to. I needed something to move forward towards. And so I connected back with my faith, went on a church mission for a few years, and really had a lot of new experiences, read a lot of books, got a lot of help, did a lot of journaling, did a lot of service. And that experience really connected me to kind of a relationship with God. It got me really interested in psychology. I watched myself transform my life. And so, that's what got me into psychology and going down this path. And that was where I decided I wanted to be a writer. As far as the blogs and stuff, the 100 million views, the reason I became a successful blogger is because I needed to be in order to become an author. My goal was always just to be, not always, but at least since that mission, which I got home from 10 years ago, I just wanted to be an author, a traditionally published author who could provide for my family and hopefully make a difference with my writing. And the goal always shapes the process. And so when I was actually learning how to become an author, I learned that I had to build a platform. I had to get email subscribers. And so that's why I started blogging. And that's why I learned how to blog effectively, is because I needed to do that in order to achieve my goal, which was to become a professional author and write books. So, the goal shapes the process. And my process was that I had to become good at blogging and had to learn how to write articles that got millions of views, because that's the only way that I could have achieved my goal.
Loving it. Getting those reps in, which are always needed in life, making it happen day in, day out, bit by bit. So you kind of took the Stephen King approach with regards to that. I know from Stephen King, there was a point where he was just writing, like wrote cowboy books, right? I think he wrote detective books before he was like, yeah, big time into his horror. But yeah. So what did you find were some of the sort of challenges when you first started becoming an author?
I think a lot of it just had to do with consistency, just regular writing, getting better, like just when your work's not actually as good as it could be, or if it's not as effective, like just actually learning from other people's work that's done well. Like I think just the challenges that anyone faces when they start something new. There's a lot of uncertainty. None of it's guaranteed. There was no guarantee that I was going to become a professional author, and you kind of have to just face that. And so I think just kind of facing my own doubts, and I still do that. I've still got goals that none of which are certain, and I have to face my own doubts every day. Just because you arrive at one destination doesn't mean you're arrived as a person. All of this could easily fall apart. So I think just maintaining, your faith, your hope, just continuing to stay connected to that and not get distracted. And then just getting yourself in the right frame of mind where you can do your work, and then letting go and unplugging and being with your family or whatever it is you want to do with your life. Like, I just think it's a continuous process and challenge just to stay in the right frame of mind and to just get yourself to do the right work rather than just to let the time pass.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, understand that. Yeah, with regards to like sometimes things getting out of control, especially with times right now where the whole planet's been locked down.
Seriously, right, man?
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up, man.
Oh yeah, and like this is the thing. There have been a number of people who've like started businesses which have been going for years and years. They've done everything right, and then this has come along, and it's kind of like knocked them for six, kind of, where everything's sort of being taken away. You can't open up your shop, you can't open up your business because of the lockdown. But trying to persevere and push forward is always the hard thing to do right now.
Yep, totally. I think that right now we live in a time. So like, here's what Cal Newport said. This is what he said in his book, Deep Work. He said, the ability to perform deep work is becoming increasingly rare at exactly the same time that it's becoming increasingly valuable in our economy. As a consequence, those who cultivate this rare skill, and make it the core of their working life will thrive. And it's hard to do deep focused work because we're working on technology that's also like connected to the internet, and that is so distracting. And then the media is so intense, and it puts ever present before our eyes all the negative things going on around the world. And then you jump on social media, and it's even, there's billions of dollars of targeted ads coming straight at you. And so, yeah, I mean, we're aware of all of the negative going on in our world because of technology. Like the world is not actually more dangerous than it's ever been. We're just more aware of it because the media sticks the negative right in front of our face. There's a lot of great stuff going on in the world too. Like last weekend, and my wife and kids were there. Actually, we were there at Kennedy Space Center, man, where the rocket launched. We watched it live. Because we live in Florida, but it can be easy to miss that and just focus on all the riots that are going on, which is incredibly sad. But it's just, I think you just got to be aware. I call it strategic ignorance. You got to not be totally unplugged, but you got to be aware of just the impact of technology and the internet on your life and on your ability to be a human being, and on your ability to find happiness and purpose and be present and to be focused and be disciplined. And so I think that's the ultimate challenge of our world right now is learning how to cultivate the constant noise. I was at the gym this morning. I don't even take my phone into the gym anymore. I would rather not have headphones and like listen to my own curated music. I'd rather just go there and focus. Whereas I'm always so interested looking around and seeing people like sitting on machines for like 5 minutes, just staring at their phones. It's like, it's just, you know, you can't even get to the gym and have a focused workout without just like losing track of what you're doing to your email or to
Yeah.
like some like freaking YouTube video. So I'm just like, nope. You know, I just think you got to learn how to control that stuff or else it'll control you.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like with regards to like news and everything like that, I listen to the news for an hour a day. I get up, do what I need to do, listen to it for
Yeah.
an hour, and then like just so
But
I
you do it
know.
after you've done your good work, right?
Yeah,
After
as
you've eaten the frog, right?
uh, I eaten the
Have you heard
frog.
that statement before? Eat the
No,
frog?
no, I have not. Okay, I'm learning.
That's a quote from Mark Twain. But basically the idea is, you know, do the worst first, you know, eat the frog. You know,
Mm,
it basically it's just the idea that if you eat a frog first thing in the morning, then everything else becomes easier. It's not really about eating a frog. It's about doing the most important thing first before all the urgent stuff comes. So like for me, that could be writing, that could
yeah.
be whatever it is. But if you've eaten the frog first, you know, then it's okay, obviously, to do what you need to do, you know, watch the news or freaking distract yourself for a little bit on YouTube. I mean, I do, you know, but I do it
Mm.
after I've done the important stuff, not before.
Yeah, no, but I imagine from your standpoint, look, with five little ones running around, like if you're up early and the place is quiet, your productivity goes up extremely. And as each one comes down, goes, Dad, I need to talk to you about this, or I need to tell you a story about this. The day gets a little bit more tougher productivity wise if you're doing work, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for me, I have a separate office. So I mean, I just wake up at 5 in the morning and leave, you know, and I just come home at 2 p.m. So I mean, I'm gone. My wife and the kids just wake up. They do their own morning routine and they have their own routine and play and whatnot. And I just get up and get out of that environment straight up.
No, that's good. That's good. So, okay. So you're an early riser, like, because I strongly believe in early rising myself
I
because
believe in it with freaking so much. I love the quote, you make or break your life before 8 a.m., man. I
mm,
mean, you know, the amount of good things you can do before the busyness of the day. I mean, that's how I became a professional writer, dude. I mean, I started writing during the first year of my PhD program, but I just would spend 1 or 2 hours in the morning before classes, you know, and most of my classes start at 8 a.m. So
mm,
I was a full-time student, but I would wake up and just write for like an hour or two before school. And that's how I became a professional author, was just 1 hour a day or 2 hours max, you know, and you just do that before the busyness of life hits you. And over a few years, you could be in a really incredible place.
mm. Yeah, like basically like winning that extra hour, that extra time, most important. Like yeah, this whole sort of you got to be 10,000, like do 10,000 hours to become an expert at something, but it's a case of people don't often do that because they look at the time and go, it's too early, or they wake up at a regular time and they go, I'll do it in the evening. And more times than not, when that evening comes, you are beat down, tired, or distracted by whatever life sort of throws in front of you. They're not eating the
Exactly.
frog, as they say.
Yep, dude. If you eat the frog every day, you can make it pretty far in your life, dude.
Mm. So, like, yes, mass consumption of frogs on your part, no doubt.
Yeah, but I've missed a lot of frogs too.
Well, so, like, what would you say is one of the sort of biggest frogs you kind of look back at and go, maybe I should have eaten that frog?
Oh gosh, dude. I mean, let's just say, you know, for all the times I've eaten the frog, I've also not eaten it, you know? I mean,
Mm,
like, there's hundreds of blog posts I could have and should have written, you know, that would have gotten millions of views that I didn't get. I mean, I could have double or triple the email list I have now. I could have double or triple the income I have now. I mean, I could have 3 or 4 books written that never got written if I'd eaten the frog. But you just learn and you just learn from the past and just do better today and tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, it's just an honest recognition that there's many days I've wasted.
mm, mm. Yeah, with that, like you recognize you've wasted those days, but surely, like, well, with your mentality and like, I'm sure you're looking at the sort of future with like, yeah, a greater at knowing you can eat more frogs in the near future.
Yeah. I mean, I ate the frog today, dude. So pretty happy about that, man.
Uh,
I ate the frog big time today, man.
Oh.
I ate the frog.
Okay. What was the frog today? We're in a frog
So
realm
woke up
right
at
now.
5.
Yeah.
Drove to the gym. Gym work opens at 6 right now. So I listened to some really good, spiritual and motivating stuff for like 30 minutes, wrote in my journal, had a great workout. Got to my office at like 6:50, filmed a bunch of content for my online course. And then I wrote an article, dude, and sent it to my email list, and then bang, jumped on a podcast. And now here you are, dude. You're my second one.
My, there. Well, you're my second podcast for today as well. But yeah, wow. I've got to say.
Well, dude, yeah, but for you, it's like 4 a.m, right?
No.
Where do you live?
I'm in the UK.
Oh, okay. Is it 4 p.m.?
It is 3 p.m. now here in the UK. So yeah.
Awesome.
So fortunately, just slightly ahead, and trust me, I have done podcasts where it's been very early in the morning, indeed, when I've been either doing the West Coast or Australia, to say the least. So yeah, early mornings, late nights, it's all part of the podcast grind at this present time. So yeah, all cool.
That's awesome, dude. Dude, you're crushing it, man. You're doing so well.
I'm learning as I go along. So yeah, trying to get better and improve as time goes on. So yes, yeah. But like, I am appreciating you being here. Is excellent. One of your articles. This sort of ties in with your sort of morning routine. You can save 20 hours per week. With a good morning routine. Like, okay, like I know
you can save 1,000 hours a week. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, the power of getting 20 hours a week, like almost a whole day. Like, yeah. What would be some of the things you would say in that morning routine? I know from what you've said previously, yeah, you've kept yourself busy, but say for a Joe Blog normal person, say.
Say it one more time on this morning routine.
Yeah, basically with saving 20 hours per week.
Here's what it allows you to do, man. It allows you to work less and be more present with whatever else you want in your life. I don't think you need to work that much. What I think you need is focused work, 3 or 4 focused hours on the right things. It's not about working 8 hours to 10 hours a day. Sometimes I do that, but it's about 3 or 4 hours on the right things. And that can really move your life forward.
And with regards to the right things, how do you assess that, say?
Is this moving me towards my future self? Obviously. Like, is this truly going to translate to help me achieve my goals? Is this going to help me create the life I want? If it's not, if it's just busy, if it's just urgent, then nope, doesn't meet the criteria,
Focus work, not busy work.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be really outcome focused. It's got to be something that clearly is producing a result. So writing it. And so you gotta assess, what are your behaviors that are clearly creating the most results in your life? What are the few things that really matter?
Yeah, no, like, this is a thing. I was watching The Last Dance documentary.
Love it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. I'm a huge NBA fan.
Yeah, no, this is
I love the NBA, dude. The Last Dance is killer.
No, this is the thing. When I was watching that, I was like going, oh my God, it was like such an amazing thing, such an insightful thing, because with me, NBA UK, I was introduced to Michael Jordan just as he was getting into the height of his powers the first time around.
Were you nice, man?
So it was just like, oh my God, who the hell is this guy? You're like going, Michael Jordan, yeah, Air Jordan's this, that, the other, and you're like going, okay. So you saw all of this going on, and then you kind of got an idea of how excellent he was with regards to being the world's best basketball player, being on the Bulls, everything like this. But the whole sort of background was given out by The Last Dance, what was going on, the small sort of nuances and stuff like this. You're like, okay, Jordan was a player himself. You know better than I. Like, when he came to the Bulls, oh God, they were, they were a woeful team, to say the least. And then it was just a case of putting the different parts into place to get the first the first 3 rings. And it was just like, you get that idea. But what the general manager was doing with like Phil Jackson at the time and what was going on and how it was just fascinating to me. Fascinating.
It is awesome, dude. Big fan of it.
Like, what sort of was there any sort of fresh insights that documentary gave you about the Bulls, or like Michael Jordan himself, or did you like know this down verbatim?
I did not know it verbatim. No, I mean I've read an entire huge biography of Michael Jordan. I've read several books about the Bulls. I mean I love the NBA. So I mean I've read Phil Jackson's books, like his book 11 Rings, The Soul of Success. I've read Relentless, which was written by his coach, like not his basketball coach, but like his actual like private trainer. So, I mean, I've read a lot about Michael Jordan, but there's a ton of stuff in there that I didn't know, man. I mean, I guess what I like the most is just that he was committed to results. He was committed to winning, and he did things that, a lot of people didn't agree with, but he was focused on results. And so he was willing to do whatever it took to get those results.
He was, like some people would say, he was a hard leader, but at the end of the day, it was a case of people got on board with it and took things forward from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But yeah, fascinating.
It's fun to watch that stuff, though, man. It's really enjoyable. I mean, I actually need to watch the documentary on Lance Armstrong, which they released a second episode last night. But that stuff excites me. I mean, I just like watching people who really, Lance obviously is an interesting character because, his story kind of went negative, but like, it's just, I think it's fun to just study biographies and study the lives of people who have done interesting, crazy things with their lives.
Yeah, no, this is the thing. What I like about it is you get an idea of what drives people to like achieve that level of excellence, and like, you know what I mean? It's not, if you think it's just because they got physical talents, which you like go, okay, that's great. You're the most gifted basketball player with this physical talent. It's like, but the mindset, the sort of building blocks of like what they've got to do for themselves to see themselves as a champion, and how they bring other people together with that is always a thing we're trying to look at and go, yeah, love that insight.
Dude, here's what I gotta say about you. You're a champion, man. You are, man. You're awesome, man. You got a lot of great energy. You're out there pushing it, baby.
Like this is the thing. Like everyone's got to go out there and push it. Like, look yourself. Look, come on now.
Dude, we're both are, man. We're just enjoying life, man. The bigger the future, the better the present, right? The only way to make your present bigger, or the only way to make your present better, is by making your future bigger. That's what Dan Sullivan says, man. It's just like, when you got a bigger future, then you're going to have a crazy present. You're going to be pushing yourself. You're going to be doing great things. You're going to be failing. You're going to be learning. You're going to be succeeding. You'll have a lot to look back on.
Like this is the thing. Like, I have to say, yeah, with your actions and work and everything like this, you are going to have a number of books to look back on, a number of successful chapters.
I'm definitely going to write over 50 books. I'm going to show you something real quick since we're on Zoom.
Okay.
I got this thing right here, man. This thing was on my wall. This is a culture tile. Can you see it?
Yeah, write 50 books. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is something that could easily just go on my wall. It's actually on the wall over there, so you can't see it. But yeah, man, I got 2 coming out this year. Working on the next 2 that'll come out next year or the year after. And just for me, it's just something to keep me doing something with my brain. I mean, it's not the most important thing in my life. My family's the most important thing in my life, but I might as well have my brain focused on something during the day, right?
Yeah. And like, this is the thing. Yeah, with regards to, producing 50 books, like that is a target which many a person's like, I've got one good book in me. I've got one good book. but they never come around to doing it. To go around and go, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do 50 books. Like, yeah, you got 2 knocked out of the park at this present time, and yeah, 2 more. You say 2 more this year and 2 more
I
next year.
I got Personalities and Permanent coming out this year, and I've got Who Not How coming out in October, which is a co-authored book with a guy named Dan Sullivan. So that'll be a cool book.
So yeah, you're doing it. You're getting in that grind. You're pushing forward. I'm liking that. Liking that a lot. And I think more people should like look to people like, okay, right now with regards to the lockdown and everything like this is a time where people, if they haven't been affected by the virus or they haven't lost anyone, they've just got time on their hands, look to utilize that time effectively and like, yeah, push towards a goal or a dream they want to do rather than sort of do what they consider their current norm. Find something new. Push that horizon.
Yep, exactly, man.
No, but yes. So with that, family of 5, like soon to be 6. How did that come about?
My wife grew up with foster kids, and so she always wanted to do that. That was not on my radar. But when we went out to Clemson, which is in South Carolina, where I did my PhD, we just decided to get registered to become foster parents. And we got 3 kids who were siblings with our first one. And, you know, that was back in 2015. We spent 3 years fighting the foster system. And then in 2018, in February, we were able to adopt those 3 kids. Then literally a month after we adopted them, my wife got pregnant with twins. So, you know, in 2018, we adopted 3 kids and we had twins. That's 1 year. So that's how you go from 0 to 5 in 1 year. You adopt 3 kids and you get pregnant the month after.
Wow. Twins as well. Oh my Lord. So, that is crazy. Takes my breath away. That is crazy. But you know what? Like, this is the thing. Like, kids are there, family's growing. Is it another bun in the oven with your lady, or is this going to be another adoption for number 6?
Yeah, no, it's a bun in the oven. That's funny. Yeah, she's like 15 weeks along.
Okay. Congratulations.
So we don't know the gender yet, but we'll know the gender in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Congratulations to you both with your new one on the way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, with that, like with the 2 books, what is in store for the future for yourself? Like, what sort of future plans do you have?
In about 2 or 3 years from now, I'd like to step away from a lot of my entrepreneurial pursuits and focus more on missionary work again, something that really brings a lot of focus and joy to my life. I'm going to keep writing books, as you've seen. I'm going to write 50 of them or more. So I'll keep writing books, but I'm going to, you know, continue to focus more and more on my family and on my faith, man. That's it. And just enjoying things, you know, traveling. I mean, I got kids, you know, so spending more time with my kids, continue to keep writing. But yeah, I'm going to be transitioning more to focusing more on missionary work, which is something I really enjoy, which is more directly spiritual versus, you know, and I'll still write popular business and psychology books, which are just more general for just whoever. But yeah, that's where I'm going, dude.
Like, I see. Do you have a place in mind where you'll do your missionary work, or is that
just wherever I get encouraged to go? You know, I don't have anything in mind yet, dude. Just get myself ready and able so that whatever is available will be awesome. Ready and able in all ways, you know, like financially, mentally, spiritually, family. Just, I've got this belief that if you're not actively preparing for something, then you're not actually living your life. So like, I'm actively preparing myself just to get ready for whatever's available, man, whatever's possible.
Nice. Perfect. Like, okay, no problem. What I'll simply say is, would you be able to tell people where they'll be able to find you with regards to like online, Facebook, social media links?
Yeah, man. And by the way, you're awesome. I just got to say that, dude. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you. My website is benjaminhardy.com,
Yep.
and you can find all my blog posts there. You can get access to free online courses there. I would strongly encourage you to check out this book, Personality Isn't Permanent. Break free from self-limiting beliefs and rewrite your story. This book, it will help you to learn how to reframe trauma from the past and help you to clarify your desired future self and how to powerfully accomplish that goal. So this book debunks a lot of the myths about personality and also debunks things like Myers-Briggs and Enneagram and all that stuff. And yeah, I think this book, you'll like it.
Ah, awesome. Awesome. I'd like to say thank you very much for your time today, sir. Pleasure.
The pleasure's all mine, good man. The pleasure's all mine.
I look forward to speaking to you again sometime in the future, no doubt. But yes, wow, time is so fleeting. But nevertheless, I got to say thank you very much, my friends, my life warriors out there. I wish you stay safe, stay well, be awesome, be excellent, be fantastic, be all the positive bees you can be in this world and more. Thank you very much and have a great day. Peace.
Peace, brother. You're the best.